There's so many. Has anyone been to them all?
Not likely.
I want to be the first one to see them all.
Truly wonderful the mind of a child is.
Come on.
When you find people who need your help, you help them, no matter what.
We have hope. Hope that things can get better. And they will.
Stand up together. Because that's when we're strongest. As one.
You won't be going alone. You'll have a friend with you.
No. I'll have a Jedi with me.
You might wanna buckle up, baby.
Rise in the Force.
Take care of us, little one.
It'll take care of you. We had each other. That's how we won.
The Force is strong in my family.
Its energy surrounds us and binds us.
What is it they've sent us?
Hope.
Hello there. Welcome to the Nerdy Cantina. This is a show where we discuss all things Star Wars with a roundtable of special guests, but we also take your questions. I am your host, Ryan of And I Quote, and we got a great roundtable of guests for this episode. Please welcome the Grand Admiral himself in the flesh and the person responsible for the incredible new backgrounds and thumbnails and graphics you've been seeing lately on And I Quote channel. Please welcome the Dutch Star Wars guy himself, Case. Welcome in, my friend. How are you? And you're muted.
Sorry, I was muted. Hello, everyone. Happy to be here. And yeah, I figured, I got this a couple of days ago because it's my birthday today, actually. So I figured it's a special occasion. Why not dress up for the occasion to join on my first Nerdy Cantina? I'm looking forward to talking Star Wars with you all.
Oh, man. Congratulations. Happy birthday. And we're very thankful that you're here with us. Also joining us here on this panel is my young apprentice. It's Ahsoka herself. Hello, Snips, a.k.a. Christie. How are you?
Good. Happy to be back. Excited.
Oh, we're excited to have you back. And also join us. We can't do this show without one of the incredible people that we know of, and that would be the one and only Jenn is back. Hello, Jenn. Welcome. Good to see you.
Hey, good to be back. Thank you for having me.
It's great to have you here. Always happy to have you. And also join us. He had so much fun the first time he walked into this studio. Now he said to himself, just when I thought I was out, they pull me back in. Please welcome the maestro of the All-Star Fandom Show, Dion, is in the building. What's going on, Dion? My man. How you doing?
Thanks for having me on again right after last week's episode. And just happy to be here, talk some Star Wars, and spend the night with you guys.
We're so happy to have you here. Now, for those of you who are new here, we are going to be discussing all things Star Wars. We're going to be drawing cards from a deck, also known as the 125 conversation cards presented by Inside Editions, hashtag not a sponsor. But if they want to be, call me maybe, and then we can work something out there. But before we dive into these wonderful set of questions here brought to you by Inside Editions, I want to give you a chance to get to know one of our newest panelists just a little bit better. So, Case, I'm going to ask you this. How long have you been a fan of Star Wars, and what are some of your favorite things about it?
I might be very new in terms of being a panelist here, but I've been a Star Wars fan for a very long time. I can tell you that. I think 20 years or so by this point. I was introduced to it later than some people maybe, but that's because my mom was not into the franchise at all, but she was into Indiana Jones, and Indiana Jones is, of course, very much related to it. So I watched the special features on the DVDs back then. I was like, hey, they keep talking about the Star Wars thing. What is it? And now I have a YouTube channel about it, and I'm wearing cosplay about it. So, that's how far we've come by this point. I love this franchise so much, and I love how every couple of years there's always something that draws me back in or makes me an even bigger fan than I already was, like when The Force Awakens came out in 2015. absolutely adored that movie. That really sparked my love for Star Wars, made me read books and comics. I'd never read a single comic in my life up until that point, and now I have a complete bookcase full of them. And yeah, earlier this year I went to Star Wars Celebration, and that sparked the love even more. And I was like, I need to start a YouTube channel about this. I have a lot of knowledge, I would say, so that's why I started with that. And it's easily my favorite franchise in terms of movies and TV.
My goodness gracious! After hearing all that, dude, I gotta tell you something.
Yes! That's awesome!
I mean, that says it all, my friend. Thank you for being here and sharing that with us. We greatly appreciate it. If anyone else has any, if you have any favorite memories of Star Wars, favorite books, favorite games, favorite comics, favorite characters, anything of the sorts, please let us know, and more than happy to take those as they come in. And don't forget to like and share this with everyone you know. So with that being said, we're going to dive into this set of questions if my panelists are ready to go. Am I right? Yeah, I think they are. So, Utini. All right, so here you go. So first question up for grabs, ladies and gentlemen, is simply this. What if Anakin Skywalker's lightsaber had been lost on Mustafar? How would Luke and Rey's journeys have changed? Snips?
Goodness.
No pressure.
That's a big question. Jeez.
That is.
I know, these are the SATs. We take no prisoners here.
We're rewriting the whole story now.
Ain't no pressure to that question. There's pressure.
It's also funny that you ask these questions and you're just like answer them right now.
Yeah.
Do you want me to play the song? I mean, I could, but I think we get copyrighted law by that. But do you want me to give you a moment, Snips?
I feel like in terms of Rey's story, we would have missed out on that whole like her just like feeling the presence of the light and then like going downstairs and like touching it and then being like and like I think that I thought that was pretty cool. I like that. I feel like Rey's story would have stayed the same a little bit, but not too much change. Just kind of like finding out the Force in like different ways. And then Luke's, what lightsaber would have Obi-Wan would have given him? His own? But then Obi-Wan doesn't have a lightsaber, so I don't really know. I'm confused.
I'm so confused. Question. I listen, Dion. I didn't write these questions. The
I know, right?
Inside Editions wrote these things. I'm just reading them off the card, son. So let me give you a free repeat of the question, since we're on Who Wants to Be a Not So Existent Millionaire, and you get a million lifelines. So the question on the table is: what if Anakin's lightsaber, specifically, had not been lost on Mustafar? How would Luke and Rey's journeys have changed, Grand Admiral Thrawn?
Oh, you're asking me now.
Well, I mean, you seem to be this, you have over 20 years experience. You've led the franchise for many, many years. You've been a Grand Admiral for 30, even though you've only been around for less than 30. But, hey, time is fleeting. So do you have any thoughts on it or not?
These what-if questions are always interesting. I will say, though, that I think regardless of what lightsaber Luke turned out, got eventually, he probably would have passed it on anyway to Rey. So I don't think Rey's entire thing would have changed that much. I would, however, prefer for Maz Kanata to explain us where the hell she got that saber from, because the last time we see it in The Empire Strikes Back is it's falling into Bespin's orbit. Where the hell did it go? I'd like to know, and we never got an explanation for that. Also, I would like to know how it split up in The Last Jedi and how it then magically reappeared in The Rise of Skywalker as if nothing happened to it. It seems like they never acknowledged that. And I'm like, I need answers about this lightsaber, okay? In terms of Luke, I think Obi-Wan was like, oh, I need to make another lightsaber, then I'll just make one because he... Hu Yang is still out there, apparently, as we see in the Ahsoka series. So he probably would make one for Obi-Wan, I think.
That's fair. Yeah, we do need answers, Maz Kanata. Where did you find that blasted thing anyway? Because no one really understands that. By the way, it's called Disney logic. Never mind. That doesn't exist. Probably not. I don't think Lucasfilm has much of a what is it called? Lucasfilm logic? I don't know. Whatever. Dion, if Anakin's lightsaber was lost on Mustafar, aka the volcanic planet, how would Luke's and Rey's journeys have changed, in your opinion?
Well, I'm gonna follow up on like Christie's thing. I think Rey still the Force sort of finds her, or her and Luke. They sort of come together that way. But I feel like that's a very like butterfly. Well, it could be somewhat of like a butterfly effect sort of moment, you know, if we sort of think, because once you read this question the first time, I was like, nothing happened after that. Like everything that we know happened just didn't happen. So we're rewriting the history of like Star Wars up to this point a bit. That was me jumping the gun, though, obviously. But I think just through this one, I think Rey and Luke still find each other, and then to take from my guy, the Dutch Star Wars guy, I think it all balances out at the end of the day. I don't know. It's just Brian. I'm sorry, man. I'm rambling, but I'm like, that's a fairly big moment. I feel like for me at least.
Yeah, it's a $2 billion question. It's a $2 billion question that Regis would otherwise wait until the very end to ask on Who Wants to Be a Millionaire. I wish they would bring that back.
And I'm with no lifelines, so
I know no lifelines either, which is sad. Unfortunately, Regis is no longer with us, so rest in
I want
peace.
to ask a friend.
Ask a friend, yeah, but rest in peace, Regis Philbin, with all due respect. Jen, if Anakin's lightsaber was lost on Mustafar, how would Luke's and Rey's journeys have changed, Jen?
Oh man, it would definitely be interesting as far as the trajectory of the story. I would say it's possibility that Obi-Wan, if he still had his lightsaber, which we know he does because he uses it to fight Vader, he could give that to Luke, but then he won't have a weapon to fight Vader with. There's that possibility. But then we would probably maybe get the scene where we could see Luke actually build his lightsaber, because a lot of fans have been wanting that for years. So who knows? Maybe we would have gotten that scene as a part of his pivotal journey of becoming the master we all got shocked and awe with the Mandalorian season 2 finale. But then I think it would have added more intrigue to Rey's story of like, who is she? Why is she so Force sensitive? Why is the Force calling to her? So it might have given more intrigue, and it would have been interesting too if we would have gotten another Jedi building a lightsaber.
Yeah, that's completely understandable, and that's fair too. Yeah, how would Luke and Rey's journey? Gosh, man, if Anakin lost his on Mustafar, I mean, could have go a couple of different ways, but still think they would have found it. I mean, the Force everything happens as the Force wields it. So at some point or another, something would have, it's the old expression, something's got to give here, man. So something's got to happen. So probably still would have happened.
That would be a cool Tales of the Jedi episode. How the journey of that lightsaber. How does it end up where it ends up? Because technically in episode 3, you don't see Obi-Wan take Anakin's lightsaber. He just walks away.
Yeah.
Oh wait, we do see Obi-Wan pick it up.
But I think he did.
No, I think he does. No, he does. He does
He
take
does
Anakin's
pick up the
lightsaber.
lightsaber, and then he walks to the ship.
Yeah.
Yeah, he walks to the ship with both sabers in hand, both his and Anakin. So yeah.
But what is an interesting thing is I've seen...
Yeah, you got to watch those dreaded prequels again. Congratulations. Anyway, you were saying, Case?
Yeah, I've seen people online essentially asking for a Star Wars What If show, like what Marvel is doing with What If, a Star Wars version of that. And then, these what if questions, like what if his lightsaber got lost, and all of a sudden a different timeline jumps out at you. You're muted, Ryan.
No, yeah, I know. I was typing something. It's called Studio Notes. But anyway, Yeah, that would have been interesting. Who knows? Maybe they'll do something like that one day. I don't know. Possibilities are endless. And by the way, this is the Nerdy Cantina discussing all things Star Wars. If you have any questions or comments about Star Wars, whether it's in the comics, the movies, the TV series, something you may like about it, something you may not like about it, I don't know. Let us know in the comments. Let us know in the chat. And don't forget to like and share this with everyone you know. And by the way, if you're at the Nerdy Cantina, drinks and food are on us. So don't worry about it. Just don't cut anyone's arm off like they did in the first one.
Okay,
but anyway,
glass is empty.
He said, yeah, glass half empty. Yeah, it happens. So here's the next question. Dion, would you rather? So forget about the what ifs. Let's talk about would you rather. Would you rather have a lightsaber with blades that spin like the Inquisitors on the Obi-Wan Kenobi miniseries, or a lightsaber blade that transforms into a whip like Vernestra Rowe, a Jedi Knight of the High Republic?
Oh man, I feel like I'd be equally dangerous with both. But if I have to pick, I think I'm going with the whip. I think the idea of it, or the fact that it does that and then turns into a whip, because the whole spinning thing, I don't know, that's too fast for me. Lightsabers cut off a gang of limbs in the past. I don't want to be another victim, so I think I can manage that whip a lot better.
Okay, I gotcha. Interesting. What about you, Snips? Would you rather have a lightsaber with blades that spin like the Inquisitors of Obi-Wan Kenobi, or a lightsaber blade that transforms into a whip like Vernestra Rowe, a Jedi Knight of the High Republic, considering the fact that you've read all 50,000 books in that series?
I answered this before, and I have two thoughts. I would want the spinning one because it could distract people very good easily. But half the people that use spinning lightsabers just die. Like, if you're up against another person that uses a lightsaber, they somehow know what they're doing. So I think I would go with the whip just because, although also with the spinning one, you kind of just like, you could kind of fly somehow. That would be pretty cool. But I feel like the risk with the spinning is too high. I'm going with the whip.
Yeah.
Interesting. By the way, here's an illustration for those of you may be wondering what character of the High Republic we're specifically talking about. Hence the reason. Thanks, Images. Anyway, by the way, before I turn things over to our next panelist, someone is here and wants to say hello to everybody. Emily's Cookieverse says, "Hey all, so glad to be here. I found out about this podcast from All Star Fandom. How about that? How about that? Emily's Cookieverse, it is so happy to have you here. And thank you for chiming in. And hey, you found us through All Star Fandom. Dion, have you been talking about us, you lie dog, you?
Just a little bit.
Just a tad. Thanks, man. We appreciate that. Thank you so much. And thank you, Emily's Cookieverse, for being with us. And you know what? I'm going to answer your question here in a moment here, Emily. I want to give a chance to let the panel answer this really quick question here. Well, it's maybe not so quick because it's difficult. But anyway, we will get to your question here momentarily, I promise. So where was I? So, Case, would you rather have a lightsaber with blades that spin like the Inquisitors on Kenobi, or a lightsaber blade that transforms into a Indiana Jones whip like Vernestra Rowe, a Jedi Knight of High Republic?
Well, first of all, as a massive Rebels fan, I'm a little insulted that you mentioned Kenobi instead of Rebels, because that's the first time we saw the spinning lightsabers.
It's written on the card.
I'm aware of that. But anyway, I would not go for either. They both seem very dangerous. I've had a whip had a whip once that I tried out and it didn't go particularly well, and I feel like I'm just going to hit myself with that. And I feel like I'm going to do the same with the spinning one. Like I would just have one lightsaber or two that I can control myself and that don't move on their own in weird ways that I don't understand. So yeah, I'll just go with neither of these because they both seem quite dangerous. Also, yeah, what we see in terms of like the spinning ones, every single character, all the Inquisitors, have died. And that includes Merrick, who probably wasn't even an official Inquisitor, but he did die. Spoilers for Ahsoka.
Yeah, the show's been out for a little while. If you haven't seen it by now, shame on you. No, I'm kidding. There's no shame on you. If you haven't seen it, it's fine. Don't worry about it. People have different, and people watch different things about Star Wars at different points in their lives, respectively. So there's no shame in that. By the way, Jen, if you can hear us and you can see us wonderfully, would you rather have a lightsaber with blades that spin, or would you rather have something like a whip from that character from High Republic?
Oh, I would probably for me want one that spins. I don't know about the whip, honestly. I would have to think on that a bit more, but my gut reaction is definitely a spinning lightsaber.
Oh, okay.
And you can use it as a helicopter.
Yes, you
Yeah,
can.
I forgot about that, and that sort of changed. I don't want to change my answer.
Oh, Dion's going back on his paper, and he's like, "Wait a minute, hold on a second. This isn't right."
I forgot about the flying.
You can fly.
You can fly, you can fly, you can fly. Hey, there's a Disneyism. Anybody watch that on VHS as a kid?
Me?
I did. Jen and I did. We watched it on VHS. We remember that one. Mm-hmm. Good times, right? But, honestly, Hook and Smee were so... I mean, they're funny in pretty much almost every iteration, but that iteration particularly, they were pretty good. I'm a god, Fridge! Anyway. Now you got me on the rewatch mode on the brain, so I may have to rewatch that at some point or another. But anyway, for me, I'd probably go with a spinning lightsaber because something with a whip just... I only think of Indiana Jones. Only Indiana Jones can carry a whip. No one in Star Wars should be carrying a whip. I'm sorry.
Okay. I have a question, Ryan.
Yes,
so,
Dion.
How cool would Indiana Jones be with a lightsaber whip?
That would be dope.
He would be dead because he hit himself several times the first time he tried it.
Take that part out, okay?
He did. He did hit himself with...
Forget that part.
Does anyone remember that scene in Last Crusade? He gets a little bit of a cut there. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
It's a great scene.
That's a great opening, by the way. Did anyone notice that? It's a great opening scene. Gosh, that's good. Someone actually brought up a point the other day that in that movie, every mode of transportation is used in Last Crusade. And I thought, that's right. Spielberg can make a movie with all modes of transportation in it, and they make good action sequences. That's awesome. That's great. Well done, Spielberg. Cool. I didn't know that. Someone brought that up to me the other day, and I was just like, oh, fantastic. No wonder Last Crusade is my favorite indie movie.
By the way, anyway. Ryan, I know you like to make your joke about that little indie movie. That is where you can use the joke on. That's your little indie movie.
Thank you. Yes. Yes. Yeah, I know. I use it a little bit too
pun intended.
Yeah, puns all over the place here. Pun intended. I should get a shirt that says pun intended. I should get one for that. Yeah, for me, I'd probably get the spinning lightsaber. But anyway, Emily's Cookieverse has a beautiful, wonderful question for this panel. She says, okay, I do have a question for the panel if and when you have the time. How has the diversity and representation of characters in Star Wars evolved, and what impact has this had on the fandom? Oh. Wow, Emily, you're not sugarcoating any of this, are you?
Depending on the character.
Goodness gracious. That is, whoa, this is heavy. That's a very heavy question, Emily, but does any of our panelists have a thought on this? Good
well, the answer to the first part of the question, how has diversity and representation of characters evolved? Yes, it has. Of course it has, because if we go back to the original Star Wars trilogy, most of them were white guys, speaking as a white guy, mind you. And yeah, that like the little bit of representation that we had was Lando in terms of, oh, hey, here we have a black character. Then in the prequels, got a little bit more. And then nowadays, they're everywhere. And I don't mind it whatsoever. I think it's great. Like Andor is one of my favorite shows, and it features a Latino lead. And Ahsoka is one of my favorite shows, and it has a black female as the main character. So I have no issue with it whatsoever. And it is important that we do this for the people who feel like they might be underrepresented in the past, with all the white guys in there. Now, unfortunately, it has had a bit of a negative effect on some part of the fandom who just wants to be misogynist and whatnot. I try to just ignore them. It's annoying when I see them, and when I see it on Twitter, I'm like, I'm just going to scroll past you.
Yeah, I completely agree. I think we need that in Star Wars, because there were many fans back in the day in the 70s that were African American, Latino, Asian, that were fans of Star Wars, but then it was all white men, and being a half white, half Latino woman, I can speak for both sides. So when I see more representation coming into the fold, I get really excited. And whenever I hear a character like Andor is Latino or someone is Latina, I'm just like, yay, we need more representation. I just wish the toxicity in the fandom, unfortunately, would be more receptive, because these actors who are very gifted and talented don't deserve the hate that they get. It is such a blessed opportunity to be in a film. I mean, if I were allowed to be in a film for like 2 seconds as an extra, I would jump on it just because I love Star Wars. I'm not gonna knock that for anything. So the fact that we even get this, I wish other fans would just be more welcoming and receptive of it.
Yeah, and after seeing just from again Billy D from all the way, I mean, I'm super happy that he was in that movie. Obviously, just to show that representation, and to me, coolest guy in the Star Wars universe at that time. So that was a big plus for me. Then we move on to the prequels, and we see Sam Jackson as a Black Jedi, and like that was really cool. Like
with the purple lightsaber, he would not do it without the purple.
Yeah, and that was it because no one else really had one, right? Or it hadn't been defined as.
That was the first for lightsabers. That was also the first diversity in lightsabers.
That's yeah.
Yeah, so, Sam Jackson, he changed all that. So there you go.
Yeah, so to see him in that and as a Jedi, and we go to the most current ones, and we see all the diversity in that from Black to Latino. Like it's great to see. It's just good to just see that representation on film, and especially in a galaxy or Star Wars universe that's that big. There has to be people who look like me somewhere. So, and telling and being able to tell another story, a spinoff story or another story that connects in some way, just makes me even a bigger fan. Because going to Disney World, I know we talked about this, Ryan. Going to Disney World, my favorite place to go is Galaxy's Edge, and it's pretty dope. Yeah, that's exactly what I get. But going there, it just feels like okay, this feels right, and just diversity has grown. Thankfully, like we said, unfortunately, the toxicity in the fandom, the word that people like to use is woke, which is just right. So I think it's just a progressive time that we get to okay, well, here's a all white cast at this point. We move and go, we evolve, right? So it was inevitable that we would hope we would get to here. So I'm just happy that we did.
Well said, Dion. Well said. Anything to add there, Snips, or are you okay up there? We're fine. We're all fine here now. Thank you. How are you? Yeah, I can't help it. That line is so good. Good stuff. Thank you very much for sharing that with us. And by the way, James Scott says, "What's up, party people?" James Scott. Good to see you, kind sir. Hope everything's well in your neck of the woods. Thank you for being with us. And Emily, thank you for that question. Very big, very heavy question, but hey, it's the Nerdy Cantina. We do our best not to play around here too much. So for those of you wondering what the bantha fodder is going on, it is the Nerdy Cantina discussing all things Star Wars. Don't forget to like and share this with everyone you know. If you're joining us live on the replay, welcome and thank you for being with us. So, next question. Star Destroyers have striking one-word names, as with the Inflictor or the Finalizer. What intimidating name would you use to christen a Star Destroyer, Dutch Star Wars guy?
Oh, sorry. I tried to remove myself.
Okay.
Do you have to ask?
Yeah, gee, I wonder why. What was the name of yours again? I can't remember.
Dutchman?
Was it the Flying Dutchman?
No, I would not go with that, even though I do like Davy Jones's ship in Pirates of the Caribbean, but that's a discussion for another time.
All right, you caught we caught that. That's good.
We all
no, I would definitely go with the Chimera. I love the look of the ship with the the paintings underneath of a Chimera, which is really cool. Yeah, that's probably my favorite Star Destroyer. So there you go.
Gee, I wonder why. Bias, anybody? No, it's fine. Snips. What intimidating name would you use to christen a Star Destroyer? What's it going to be, Snips?
Maybe I'm thinking of scary animals. So I was thinking maybe a serpent or something. I don't know.
Anaconda?
That would be... I just think a serpent or something I don't. I'll go with that. It's a hard one.
Oh my
good grief.
Ooh.
Look at that. One has to go off their set and say, hey guys, I have a suit and I have this in my house. What do you guys got? Nothing.
Look at all of my Legos.
The words of Jackie Boy Nicholson, where does he get all those wonderful toys?
I had to.
Good impersonation right there. I like that.
You like that? You do? All right, but because
That
that's
was
one
a
of my
good
top
one.
10 favorite movies of all time, Jen. So
Yay.
I watched
No
it so
doubt.
many times I burned out the VHS tape of that. True story. I burned it out. I ruined it. So what about you, Dion? If you're going to christen a Star Destroyer and give it a fancy name, what are you going to give it?
Well, first, my Batman didn't burn out, but I did damage like the box because I would always hold the box for some reason when I watched it as a kid. But
Nice.
that's for another story for another day.
Teased it, right?
Oh yeah, like it was the box was gone. But mine would be called The Ultimatum. I wanna give you a chance. I'm a merciful, I just wanna give you a chance.
There's such thing as mercy in the Empire? Okay.
There's mercy there? Get at it.
You
Just a
work for
bit.
the Vader. How did you get that in the policy?
Well, here's the thing. You think you have an ultimatum, or you think there's an ultimatum, but there really isn't. So it's a little
The
fun.
Dion
Fun for
ultimatum.
us. Fun for us.
Dion Ultimatum coming soon to a theater near you. Yeah, we don't need no Jason Bourne. We got the Dion Ultimatum here, guys. Come on now.
Okay, put that on a t-shirt and wear it with pride.
Do it, man. Do it, Dion. Put that on a t-shirt. Let's do it.
So I suppose we're skipping identity and supremacy.
Yeah, we're going straight to the ultimatum, son. Which I heard they're actually in
To be
development.
fair, the supremacy is taken in terms of
True.
names.
True, but did you know they are in development on, once again, another Jason Bourne movie for some weird reason? That is so weird that they're making another one. Why? There's no point. But that's Hollywood.
Also, Jason Bourne wasn't good, so.
Yeah, well, I thought it was all right, but it could have been better. But anyway, that's neither here nor there. If I'm going to make a, what is it called? Christen a Star Destroyer? I can't take Ultimatum because that's taken. So, let's see. You know what? I'm going to pull a 90s kid card here, and I'm going to call it the Myrtleizer. Yeah, I'm going to call it the Myrtleizer because this little known film called Three Ninjas came out in the 90s, and I watched it every day.
Oh, yeah.
And when Tum Tum looks dead into the camera and he says, let's myrtleize him. So I'm going to pull a Three Ninjas. That's right. You heard me right, ladies and gentlemen. A Three Ninjas. And I'm going to call it the Myrtleizer. So Tum Tum, you're welcome. You're welcome. You're getting some credibility on this show.
Shout out, Tom Tom. We love you.
That's right. Oh my gosh. You know what? I think, Jen, one of these days, we just got to do random watch-alongs of 90s films that you and I grew up on. We should just do it.
Oh, heck yes, I'm down.
I grew up on that one too, by the way. Just wanted to throw that out.
All right. So, Dion, okay. So
I was
Dion,
I was more of a Rocky fan than I was the older brother leader,
Okay, well, I was the youngest in my family, so technically I'd be the Tum Tum of the group. But at the same time, I was more of a Rocky and a Colt fan as compared to Tum Tum. So just pointing that out. By the way, I will say this, though. I love Snyder. Snyder is such a great bad guy, dude. In the first one, you know what I'm talking about? Snyder.
It's been a while, but yes, yeah.
He hams up that role so much. It's great. Anyway, as the plans to dominate the world between Jen, myself, and Dion by watching 90s movies on a random day and a random night when I'm not working and doing it in this studio is going to be a lot of fun in 2024. Here's another question that's up for grabs.
Wait. I didn't answer.
You didn't get this? I'm so sorry. What would you name your Star Destroyer? I'm so sorry. Go ahead.
This goes out to my people. I'm gonna name it Chancleta.
All right.
Okay, I'm good.
I don't know where I can go with this. The only way we could go is to the next question, ladies and gentlemen. Okay, so unless I'm missing something. No, I'm not. All right, so the next question. Which Jedi do you think is the best example of who a Jedi Knight should be? All right, so for me, I'll go ahead and answer this one first because I want to give my panelists a little bit of a break because I've been throwing them into the lion's den for too long.
Thank you.
Yeah, I've been throwing you into the lion's den for the last few minutes. So
Cue the Jeopardy music, please.
I wish. I wish. Otherwise, we'd be violating. I don't want to do that on this show, by the way. We're not violating it. No copyrights.
Yeah.
But which Jedi do you think is the best example of who a Jedi should be? For me, I'm gonna go with Qui-Gon Jinn.
I would agree.
I'm going with my boy Qui-Gon. I got a T-shirt of that guy. My favorite Star Wars novel of all time right now is Master and Apprentice by Claudia Gray. And obviously Qui-Gon is heavily featured in that book because he's one of the main characters. So Qui-Gon Jinn, Liam Neeson, you're the man. I'm going to give it to Qui-Gon Jinn on this one. What about you, Dion? Who do you think is what's the best example of who a Jedi Knight should be? Which character?
I mean, I haven't read many books, but I would think there are no flaws with Yoda, right? I mean, I would love to know if he had any at all, but he just seemed like he was the person at every single corner, you know, giving the wisdom that everybody needed. He was the, you know, I don't know, the counselor to many Jedi and all that stuff. So I'm gonna go with Yoda. I don't think there's any flaws unless I missed something somewhere.
I think what could be argued is that for a flaw is that Yoda did not realize what the Sith were doing for the fall of the Jedi and the films that we have. I think that could be the only one thing that can be argued. Like, you know, he gets prideful with everyone else with the council and everything. He doesn't even sense it or foresee it.
Yeah.
Gotcha. Yeah, because I mean, I was just, again, he was funny in episode 2.
Thank you for your answer. That's a great answer. I'm just saying that for other fans, they might be like, bro.
Yeah. Oh, I'm totally aware. That's why I asked the question. I was like, am I leaving out anything? But he's the reason I got a green lightsaber too. So
there you go.
Nice.
Nice, as someone might say. What about you, Jen? Which Jedi do you think is the best example of who a Jedi Knight should be, even though you copied off my paper?
No, I would agree. That's the first one that popped in my head is Qui-Gon. I would also suggest Ahsoka, with the way we've seen her grow and develop ever since she left the Jedi Order. I think in that way, she's similar to Qui-Gon to a certain extent.
All right, I got you. What about you, dare I ask? Snips. Which Jedi do you think is the best example of who a Jedi Knight should be? Is it the one and only person you're emulating?
No. I have 2. So first, I would go with Obi-Wan, just because I know people would argue with this, but personally, I feel like he's just gone through so much, yet kept so much hope that I was just. One of my favorite quotes by him is like, it takes strength to resist the dark side, only the weak embrace it. And just something about that, he is truly so strong. Like, you always see those memes of everyone that he loves ends up dying in his arms. So I'm going with Obi-Wan for that one, but I also want to go with Kanan, who's one of my favorite Star Wars characters ever. I love Kanan with my whole heart, and just like, I feel like he's everything. Like, he knows how to use like what the Jedi Order doesn't want you to do, but he uses everything in moderation, which I think is good. And I just love him. So those are my 2 answers.
You cheated, pirate. You're not supposed to say 2. You're supposed to use 1, but you're a pirate, so we'll let it go.
Thanks.
That's a reference from another movie. I almost said the word again, but I didn't say it. So, Case, which Jedi, even though I know you work for the Sith full time, 40+ hours a week with benefits, which Jedi do you think is the best example of who a Jedi Knight should be?
I wish Christie hadn't said a second one, because I was thinking, I'm going to mention Kanan, and she said Kanan. I will also give a shout out, and this could either make or break your opinion of me. Luke Skywalker in The Last Jedi, and everyone's going to hate me for that, I feel. And that's okay, because, you know, we can all have our opinion, but I truly feel like Luke's final act about using a force projection to distract Kylo Ren to save the good guys is one of the ultimate Jedi things you could possibly do. It's really OP, but I love it. I adore that scene. I adore that moment, and the fact that Luke sacrifices himself there. So that. But yeah, Kanan. But speaking of sacrifices, and a sacrifice that makes me cry my eyeballs out every single time I see it. Oh. Spoiler alert for Star Wars Rebels, the show that is 5 years old by this point. You should have seen it. Kanan, just the way that he like goes about his journey, and initially he essentially rejected the Jedi after Order 66 and everything. He tried to lay low, and then he got back into it eventually, and just the way that we see him progress through Rebels and really becoming the Jedi again, losing his eyesight, having to fight and do things without his eyesight, like the way he overcomes that, I think it's really inspirational. And yeah, the way that he in the end sacrifices himself to save his friends, that's again just a very selfless thing to do, and that is what ultimately is what a Jedi should do. I am happy though that that's also my thing with my issue with the Jedi in general, the fact that they can't be with someone. I'm happy that he was with Hera and they got a kid together. Thank you for doing that, Star Wars, because that's one massive flaw I have with Jedi. The Jedi philosophy, I should say.
Right. They can't play the dating game, can't play the marriage game, can't play the have 3 kids with a dog and a white picket fence in the backyard and all that. Like they can't do it. I'm like, really? They can't live happily ever after? Everyone in the Disney movies can. Why can't the Jedi do it? Come on now. Get slack.
I mean, you can argue the rule that what the Jedi practiced was if a certain species was about to go extinct and someone just happened to be in the Jedi Order, but they were the only ones basically close to being left to continue to populate their species, they would be allowed to get married and have a family. Like, what's wrong with everyone else?
Yeah, that's a valid point. Interesting. Boy, these questions are getting deeper and deeper into the Marianas Trench. Good Lord. All right, so next question up for grabs. If I miss it, did I miss somebody? I hope I didn't. No, I don't think I did. So Jedi lightsaber blades are usually the typical blues, the greens, the purples, the yellows, that kind of deal. But I'm just out of curiosity, Dion, which color would you choose and why?
Oh man. Well, earlier I chose green because of Yoda, but and green's a favorite color. But that's about as generic of a question of an answer that I can give. But I think if I were choosing again, I don't know. I know last week we talked about pink with accessories and stuff like that. And I don't know, like my logo is like pink and blue and stuff like that. And I like those color combinations, very Miami Vice here in Atlanta, in the background colors. So I think I'd do like a pink blade, I think. Let me get that. I'll take a pink one.
By the way, I do like how the font of your shirt, it does have kind of Miami Vice.
Yeah, I mean, I like the 80s, even though I was only there for a short period of time. The culture
you and I we were there for a short period of time. Yeah. We were only there for 2 minutes. And the 90s happened and blew everybody away. So yeah, Jen, me, Jen, Dion, and I, yeah, it's a thing. But it was a good thing because a lot of great things happened in the 90s as well as the 80s. So
I'm going to send you a GIF where it's the scene from Robin Hood Men in Tights where he takes the metal glove and slaps the sheriff of Nottingham. Rottingham. And it says, I think it says like a certain generation talking to kids born in the 80s while the people who were born in the 2000s are watching, like basically laughing and giggling, and then the metal glove is the 90s slapping the youngsters across the it's great.
Please do send it to all of us because I think we're going to get it when it goes live. What was I going to say? So I think, yeah, Dion, your shirt's cool, your background's cool, you got the Miami Vice 80s vibes. All we need is the theme song by Jan Hammer. So anyway, Christy, what would you choose and why for the color of the blade of the lightsaber?
I want a yellow one. Yellow is my favorite color, firstly. Aww. Second, I like how rare it is. Yeah. And I love all the characters that have it. I have a weird liking to temple guards. I think they're so cool and underrated. Yeah. I also adore Rey. So her getting a yellow lightsaber at the end, I just think it's a cool color. So I would like that one.
No shame in that. I actually have a Jedi Temple Guard poster on one of my walls because they're cool. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Those masks, their outfits, and everything. So cool. Just so cool. Love it. What about you, Case? What would your lightsaber color blade color be?
Okay, so first of all, I'd like to present a design that I made.
Oh no! More show off. Go ahead.
Yeah, no, but it's like cool.
Go ahead.
It's a whip.
Because last week you guys had the discussion of like
Whip it! Whip it good!
Last week you guys had a discussion of like what kind of materials you would use for your lightsaber hilt, and based on that, I was like, I should make a pink lightsaber for in Jedi Survivor. Can I present it? Ah, there you go. This pink lightsaber with pink color. It's all pink. For the people who want this, you can make this in the game Jedi Survivor. So get that. But I think the answer is pretty obvious.
Fulfill
I can't change this
destiny.
Show the hilt. Show the hilt.
Show the hilt, Case, or it doesn't work.
Reverence.
Very nice.
Ooh.
There you go.
Nice.
Hashtag not sponsor. Thank you very much, lightsabers.com. Good times, guys. Good times. Fulfill your destiny. Anyway, I could go all night on that. But good stuff. Who are we missing here? Jen, what blade color would you be for a lightsaber?
Purple. Hands down. Purple.
There you go.
Good color.
Good choice. Good move. Purple. Yeah. Let it go. I'm gonna just be cliche because I already have one that turns 16 different colors, so I pretty much run this galaxy with that lightsaber that I have. It's just not here with me right now. It's up in the shelves of the man cave. But I'm going blue. Going blue. I just like blue. Blue's my favorite color. As you can see, my background is blue. Some of these backgrounds here have blue in it. So yeah, going blue. You're welcome.
This
there you
is
go.
why you and Christy work well together. Blue and yellow.
I know, right? Christy and I work well together. Yeah.
Green.
I know. It's great, isn't it? Oh my! We make it work, people. Sorry, that was a reference from another show. So for those of you wondering, this is the Nerdy Cantina discussing all things Star Wars. If you have anything you wish to discuss with us about Star Wars, let us know in the comments. Let us know in the chat. Don't forget to like and share this with everyone you know. And if this is your first time here, welcome. We thank you for being with us, whether you're joining this live or on a replay. Which negative emotion would you struggle with the most if you were a Jedi Knight, Snips?
Maybe. Well, I mean, I don't think it's negative, but maybe attachment. I'd be so sad to leave my family and my friends. Like, what the heck? I'll do that. Which is negative to the Jedi, but not really negative.
Fair enough. What about you, Dion? What negative emotion would you struggle with the most if you're a Jedi Knight?
I don't know. I mean, we just went through can't be with anyone, right? So, I mean, that intimacy or that, that would be a struggle. I mean, I'm part of the Jedi. I get it, but you want someone special, I suppose. I think I struggle with that. Whatever emotion that might end up, it could be a bevy of emotions, but I think I'll go there.
Boy, this conversation's getting really deep. Jen, what about you? What negative emotion, Jen, would you struggle with the most if you were a Jedi Knight?
Same as Dion. I just knowing myself really well, and if we did have such thing as a Jedi Order and I was force sensitive and went into the Order, I would definitely struggle with that big time.
Man, it's getting really heavy emotional on this stage.
Episode 2, right, guys?
Yeah, you know what, Dion? When I think of episode 2,
just trying to help.
The first thing,
He's like
that comes to
angry
mind
now.
when I think of
Tread
episode 2.
carefully, Ryan. You are
But here's the
outnumbered.
thing, I am outnumbered on this, but I will tell you a secret, Dion. When I think of episode 2, the first thing that comes to my mind is that beautiful line said by Anakin where he says, I don't like sand. It's coarse, it's rough, it's irritating, it gets everywhere. That is Academy Award winning lineage right there.
But was he
No, it's
lying
not.
though? Was he lying though?
No.
He's not
No, he's
lying.
not lying. It's a very truthful statement,
Like,
but at
that
the same
whole
time,
plan, it was a trigger for him. It's a
It was-
freaking trigger.
it's true, but at the same time, it's an Oscar-worthy line. No, it's not. But anyway, Case, save us from oblivion here. Which negative emotion would you struggle with the most if you were a, I don't know, what is the thing called again? Oh yeah, Jedi Knight. Even though you work for the dark side 24/7.
Just knowing myself, how I am, anger. I can get very angry sometimes. And I know you need to not get angry and give into your emotions. So, yeah, that's definitely one of the things. This is why I feel that's a Jedi Knight. I'm not.
That's why you work for the Sith 24/7, 365 with benefits. So there you go. For me, can't help it, man. He has a shirt I think you have that shirt that says Sith happens on your shirt. Right? Yeah, he does. He's not. He's in agreement with me on this. Okay, cool. I just want to make sure I wasn't dreaming that. So for me, I mean, I hate to copy off everyone else's paper in the SATs and get the highest score in the class like Chris Evans did in the perfect score. But yeah, I mean, attachment, because I have family. I got friends. I don't want to detach from that because Christie's my friend. Jen is my friend. Dion's my friend. You know what I mean? Like we're all friends here. We all get along. At least I hope we do. And I don't want to disregard that because you've all made a difference in my life. You've given me something to shoot for. Not to get all TED Talks on you here, but you know.
I feel like there's a blurred line though, and I'm curious to get everyone's opinion on it because it's like they're more geared toward romantic relationships, but then you don't hear them talk about the relationships between each other because you have the master and apprentice relationship, and they don't say you can't have attachments even with that because technically that's an attachment. That's a father and son or mother son relationship type of thing. So in a way that's an attachment. So it just seems like they were more about romantic attachments than other attachments. Do you all agree, disagree? I'm curious.
I think it's definitely romantic because of everything and just being attached, but I feel like they don't do a good job showing it in like the movies and the show, but like in the books at least, it's definitely like if they're too close with like a Jedi, they'll kind of get angry. Like the one that's coming to my mind is like in the High Republic with like Porter, and I forgot the girl's name that he like finds that he like literally calls her sister. And the Jedi separated them because they're like, you guys are too close. And once they separated them, they decided to go crazy, both of them. So Jedi had no choice but to keep them together. So I feel like it depends. Like I feel like even with the Master and Apprentice, if you look at other ones other than our main characters, it's so weird how like the Masters care for their Padawans, but at the same time, they're kind of just like, I'm here to teach you. Sometimes. I don't know.
Any other thoughts before I move on to the next $1,000 question? I guess not. Don't everybody thank me at once. Okay, so I mean, I don't know. Maybe it is, maybe it isn't. I don't know. But anyway, if you could have just one force ability in your real life, which one would you pick and why, Jen?
One force ability in real life. Barfit Dugan. Come back to me. I need to think a little bit.
Great. Cue the Jeopardy non-existent theme song. Snips, what about you? If you could have any force ability in your real life, which one would you pick and why? And choose
I
why.
want to connect with the animals like Ezra does or like baby Ahsoka does. Like that's so cute. I want that. Like they don't even like have to talk with them. Like they're just like connecting to them emotionally and yes, that. And also if I could do that, then I could go up to a lion and not be scared, which is I want to pet all the big cats. And I can't do that if they're going to eat me. So that's what I want to do.
I want a lost cat.
Lost cat.
Lost cat so bad. I want it. It's a lost cat. I want one. Dion, what about you? What force ability would you pick and why?
It's a toss up between being able to just levitate objects and do all that stuff. I think that would be. Yeah. But I think I'd get so lazy if I had that. But then I look on the other side, I was like, the whole like Jedi mind tricks and stuff, right? Like that could be advantageous, you know? So it's whether do I want to like gain weight or by doing nothing, or get everything I want by doing that. So I'm going for Jedi mind tricks. I'm taking that one. I'll take that.
Credits will do fine. Fair enough. What was I going to say earlier? Oh yeah, Case. If you could have one Force ability in real life, what would you pick and why?
Damn it, Dion, you took mine. The mind trick. I've been thinking about it, and then you say levitating objects, and I'm like, okay, cool. You're going with that one. I can still say the mind trick, and then you say mind trick. But anyway, by the way, with the levitating objects, that would probably be helpful. Like starting to, you can just help people move very easily.
Let's see that. I don't want to work. Just move yourself.
You just want to be lazy.
I love how honest you are. You see, I just don't want to work.
Like, move this for free, and then just move it. Like that's. I think I got it.
Yeah, we can move packages for free. I wouldn't have to do it from one side of the place to the other. Yeah.
You go to the supermarket and you get to the cashier and it's like, I already paid for this.
Yeah, and boom, I'm out the door.
Good Lord, man, talk about abuse of power. Jen, were you going to say something?
I was going to just say, Dion, when you said Jedi mind trick, I have some stuff going on at my job where I work where that would really come in handy.
Yes.
Like, you will have no involvement in this party planning. Go away. Be gone.
Yeah, we don't want to end up like that raunchy comedy from a couple years back, Office Christmas Party. No. Office Christmas Party, no way. With Jennifer Aniston? Yeah. Although I will say that movie had a pretty darn good trailer.
I don't remember it.
Thinking about it, because I live in the city, I would like the Force abilities to get around places fast. So whether it's like fast running, high jumping, things like that, that would really be helpful, especially with tourist season.
Tourist season, everybody. Watch out. Yeah. Terrible. Are you? You're in agreement with that, aren't you, Christy? Yeah, you are.
Yeah.
Things happen on certain sides of the world.
Traffic?
She knows. Fifth Avenue in New York City right now.
Fifth Avenue?
No.
I saw the tree for 30 seconds. I said, good, let's go.
And we're done.
We saw the tree, ladies and gentlemen, which was heavily featured in the film Home Alone 2, Lost in New York.
And I know it's a Star Wars room, but if you watch the Marvel show Hawkeye, it all happens in Christmas in my city by my job.
Oh, it does, doesn't it?
It does. I was watching the show. I'm like, oh my gosh, they were across the street. They were across the street. Where was I?
You could have been.
I feel like you were just Leo DiCaprio and Once Upon a Time in Hollywood.
Right.
You were like that one. I'm that one. Oh gosh, what was the Force ability in real life? So gosh, I would say, man, Force jumping and Force running, that would be great, man. That would be fantastic. But I'd probably go with levitating stuff, Yeah, telekinesis, I think it's called. Yeah, something like that. That's what I'm going with. So there you go. There's the answer to the question. I don't know. Going with that. Moving things from one side of the room to the other. Yay, do it this way. That's gee whiz. What is it he says in episode 2? If Obi-Wan Kenobi saw if Kenobi saw me doing this, he'd be very grumpy.
If Obi-Wan saw me doing this, he'd be very grumpy.
Yes, exactly. I was thinking of that little indie line from episode 2. Exactly. Anyway, so here's your next question up for grabs. This is an interesting one. So you're in the middle of a situation. It's a very big one, and it's called a crime syndicate has taken control of what is known as a farming town. You're a Jedi Knight, and you can bring 6 different Jedi characters with you to save this town, to save the town, to save the day. Which Jedi, regardless of the time period that they belong to, do you choose? So I'll read it again. Crime Syndicate has taken control of a farming town. You're a Jedi Knight. You can bring 6 different Jedi along to help you save the town. Which Jedi, regardless of the time period that they belong to, do you choose, Snips?
Okay, we got 6. I'm going with Kenobi, Anakin, Ahsoka. I mentioned him before, but Porter Engle is insane with the lightsaber. We're going with him. And then I have 2 left. Kanan, because yes. And then I'll go with Rey. Those are my 6.
Hey, your new film is going to start shooting next year in London, so
Can't wait.
yeah, Daisy Ridley's got another shot at stardom. And we wish her the best of luck with that, too. We'll see what happens with that movie. But let's see here. That's a great roster, by the way. Let's see. Case, what 6 Jedi are you going to pick, even though I know you prefer Sith to Jedi?
Well, luckily there's a character who was once a Sith and then became a Jedi, at least depending on what version you play in KOTOR. But it's Revan. So that's one. Then I'll go with Cal Kestis from the Jedi Fallen Order Survivor games. Ahsoka, because yeah. Anakin, because yeah. Let's see who else. Rey, I agree with Christie. Rey is great. And who else do we have on the list? I'm looking through my list of favorite Star Wars characters. I have a big list. So Luke Skywalker. There you go.
Yeah.
Impressive. Most impressive. Boy, wow. Okay. So for me, I'm going Rey, because I loved her in Force Awakens. The other stuff wasn't her fault. So Force Awakens, Rey, and anything else. Because she's still a great actress. She's got a lot of talent. Her character, is going to come back next year for her new movie. So congratulations to her on that. I wish her well. Don't get me wrong. Rey, because she's awesome. And Daisy really is a awesome, tacular looking person. So nothing wrong with that. Kanan, because I'm cosplaying as him next year. # spoilers. So I'm going with Kanan. Yeah, that's right, Case. I'm going to dress up as Kanan. I'm coming for you, Admiral.
You are aware that Kanan died because of Thrawn's.
No. I'm the version of Kanan that doesn't die in the end. So watch out, son. I'm coming for you. So what was I saying again? Rey, Kanan, Ahsoka, Qui-Gon, Obi-Wan. Let me see. That's 5, right? Yeah. And Yoda. So there you go. I pretty much got the all-stars of the NBA, or in this case, the Jedi. So yeah, there you go. You're welcome, America. What about you, Jen? Who are you picking?
I'm doing Yoda, Yaddle, Qui-Gon, Anakin, Luke, and 6th one. I want to say Leia, but then she doesn't really become a Jedi, but then I would love to see her as a Jedi at the same time because she's Force sensitive. So for 6, I would go with.
You could go with Legends Leia.
Okay, yeah, Legends Leia.
Yeah, I mean, he says it in Return of the Jedi. You have that power too. So you have that power. I've got the power. There's another popular song from the day. Dion, my man. You got to pick 6 Jedi to save this town. Who you picking? Who's your 6? I'm your Huckleberry.
Okay. Okay. I sort of built it like a basketball team. So running point, running point, I got Yoda. At the 2, I got Obi-Wan. At the 3, give me Anakin. At the 4, I'm putting Mace Windu down there. And 5, I needed. Well, I can put Count Dooku, right? I need a wild card.
He was once a Jedi.
He was
once a Jedi, right?
And then you can put him in there.
I need that like sort of goon on the squad to do anything to get the win.
You mean the Dean Fulton or the Fulton Reed?
Yeah, and then just coming off the bench is number 6. I put Luke there. So that's my starting 5 and bench.
You're good.
I like it. The starting five and the bench. I like it.
The
wild card goes wild. Okay, bench. Let's go in.
Just like the title says in sports, the sixth man. There you go.
Yeah, we need him. It'd be okay.
Yeah, right on, man. Wow, that's awesome. Loving this, man. These questions are getting deep, and at times it can be really fun and funny. So once again, it's Nerdy Cantina, discussing all things Star Wars. If you have anything you wish to discuss with us or a question you want to bring up, go right ahead. Comments in the chat. If you're joining us live or on the replay, thank you for being here. And thank you to all our panelists for being here. And this has been a lot of fun so far. So don't forget to like and share this with everyone you know. Your next question is going to be an interesting one. Do you think that Anakin, also known as Anakin Skywalker, was the chosen one who brought balance to the Force? Why or why not, Jen?
Yes, absolutely.
Why?
Absolutely. Well, when you look at his story and his arc, and if you even want to go into the book lore, I think there's plenty of evidence that show that Anakin is the chosen one. But then if you just solely go off of interviews that Hayden Christensen has done, and he shares the conversations he had with George specifically about Anakin, especially with the new behind the scenes film that they did for Obi-Wan Kenobi, he said in that film that when he was working with George for the prequels, that even though Anakin turns to the dark side, he is still the chosen one. So the fact that George says Anakin is the chosen one because this is a creation of George Lucas, I think that really speaks for itself there. But then when you look at the newer shows, especially with the Clone Wars and Anakin's journey in that, and how he takes the place of the father in that arc, and then we see him in Ahsoka, I think even that adds to all the reasonings that prove Anakin is the chosen one, and that his journey to the dark side was necessary to take that new position.
Fascinating. Thank you for sharing that with us. Do greatly appreciate it. What about you, Dion? Do you think Anakin was in fact the chosen one who brought balance to the Force overall, and why or why not?
Yeah, I agree with Jen. I think everything that happened, like it was, his story just reminds me of what Loki said. He's burdened with glorious purpose, sort of thing. It felt that way. It feels that way for me after hearing Jen so eloquently put it at like that. So yeah, I think he was the chosen one, because I mean, he heavy the head that bears the crown. In this, I got puns for days, I got sayings for days, but it's just one of those things where I think he had to get to that point where it was him or nothing.
Fair enough, man. Fair enough. Well, I know you studied under this young person for many, many years until you became my apprentice, Snips. But I'm just curious. Do you think your former master, Anakin, was indeed the chosen one that brought balance to the Force? Why or why not, Snips?
Yes, I am so passionate about this freaking, like, this is the one thing about Star Wars that will get me angry. Like, I think everything, that is why of like all Star Wars, the Mortis arc is one of my favorite things of all times. Like, the son literally showed Anakin his future, what he was going to do. It's kind of just, it was always, even though like you don't want to think about it that way, but the fact that the son showed Anakin this future of him turning Darth Vader meant that it was always supposed to happen, and he was still the chosen one. Everything about that arc, I think, just literally proves that Anakin is the chosen one, and I love it.
Yeah, there was no bias shown in that statement at all. I just want to point that out.
Can I just add one thing real quick?
Yes.
I mean, when you think about it, the chosen one is supposed to bring balance to the Force. So the chosen one, I would assume, understand both the dark and the light side, which means you have to operate in both.
So I guess in spy terminology, he was a double agent. I worked for them, but I also worked for the other side. So, and Lord knows that our friend Case over here probably has a 4 or 5 page dissertation he's about to present to us right now, because I know this question is a very big one for him. So, Case, I'm just curious if this is an important question for you or not. I'm just curious. Do you truly think that Anakin Skywalker was in fact the chosen one who brought balance to the Force overall, and why or why not?
I'm gonna give a very different answer than everyone else gave because I'm gonna give an out-of-universe explanation to this question, which is that I definitely think that after George Lucas in the late 90s wrote that Anakin was the chosen one, they stuck to that. But before then, wait, what's that? Okay. But before Anakin, or before the prequels were written and Anakin was made to be the chosen one, there was not a plan for that. The original trilogy never really delved into that. If anything, and that's what we have in Rebels as well, Obi-Wan claims that Luke is the chosen one when Maul asks him about that. But, George Lucas wrote that for The Phantom Menace. They stuck with that throughout the prequels. They managed to weave that in even more with the Clone Wars and everything else. So ever since that decision was made on paper by George Lucas himself, and of course, we're not going to go against that anymore. Yes, he's definitely the chosen one. Now, if I like it or not is a different question. I honestly, I don't much care for it. I think, okay, fine. He can be the chosen one. Luke can be the chosen one. Cy Snoodles could be the chosen one. I don't care. Someone eventually is going to, eventually he dies and someone else is going to rise to power. And they need to fix it all again. Hence, sequel trilogy. So,
Well, did you ever watch Star Wars Visions?
I tried. I stopped mostly because it's non-canon. So
well, in season 2, there's one episode where I forget the name of it, the episode I'm thinking of, but they actually talk about how, because there's a war between, again in the Star Wars universe, a war between the Jedi and the Sith, and how light and dark are always going to be at each other. This is always going to be an never-ending cycle type of thing. So I would agree with you on that as far as the chosen one. That
actually also what Baylan Skull says in the Ahsoka show.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
it repeats again and again, and he wants to break that cycle.
Well, what was it? I'm not sure if it was Baylan. I think it was Shin who said this. I can't remember if it was one or the other. Sometimes stories are just stories.
That was Shin.
It was Shin. Thank you. I'm pretty sure it was her, but then again, Baylan was so good in that show. Oh, man. Such a fascinating character, and it's just unfortunate with how circumstances ended up in real life for Ray Stevenson. But man, give us a Baylan book. Seriously, just somebody write something. I know somebody's cooking up something in the background somewhere.
Just recast. They clearly have a story written for him with the.
I don't think Dave's going to do it. I don't think Dave's going to do it.
No, but with
they would have to change the whole storyline. I think.
I don't think Dave's going to do it, man.
Definitely.
They clearly have a plan for him because he was talking about it throughout the entire season, and then at the end of the season, we see him literally stand on the Argonauts. Sorry, no, wait, that's
Jason and the Argonauts.
Argonath. Jesus, Lord of the Rings reference? Anyone? No, I suppose not.
Yes, yes. Anyway, I caught you. I caught you.
Okay, cool. No, but
I was waiting for the rest of what you were going to say.
No, I of course mean the statue of the Mortis gods. He's literally standing on that, and it's pointing towards something. And I'm like, yeah, that clearly is set up. That's something that Dave wants to do. So just recast, please.
I think it's hard because,
it's going to be really tough.
I can't picture anyone else in Ray Stevenson's role. I mean, I look at it this way. When they delve more into Dooku in Tales of the Jedi, they didn't, they have a voice actor to portray the voice, but then they didn't recast Christopher Lee. So I'm like, if you're going to do that, why don't you just do another Tales of the Jedi to go more into Baylan's story and pivot that way?
That could be done, but to be fair, Corey Burton has voiced Dooku since 2008 at this point.
True, but at the same time, it's. I think it's just going to be one of those hard decisions because what I've talked about in other fan discussion groups is that they had a plan, everything was planned out, and Ray already agreed to it, but now they have to stop and basically rethink the whole thing. So, I think it's not going to be easy no matter what they do.
Yeah, and that that's happened a lot in recent years too. The biggest one is like for me being a Marvel fan, Black Panther was on that too. You had a half people saying like recast, but then you're like, man, he was so good in that role, and he was the first one to portray that role in live action. That's a tough sell to say like we're just going to recast someone else.
It's the same
it's always
thing,
tough. Yeah, it's always just a tough decision. Like I'm sure they had what came out in Wakanda Forever was not what they planned on for being their sequel, obviously. So they pretty much have rewritten a lot of the Marvel universe after that, I guess, just to make it fit. So it can be done, but it's an uphill battle just to make sure you're doing like service to the actor and the service to the fans as well. So it's a tough thing to juggle.
That's what I'm saying.
It's not easy.
Mm-hmm.
No, it isn't. And this is something that we can always address in a different show for a different topic at a different time. But yeah, the question becomes, what's more important? Is the character bigger than the actor, or is the actor bigger than the character? It always brings to mind that question.
I think the character will always be bigger because we are already getting like de-aged or recast versions of the original trilogy characters. Han Solo has been recast into Alden Ehrenreich. Luke Skywalker and Leia have made young appearances where they were CGI'd over. Now they may not have looked the best, but at least they're attempting to, continue on the legacy of that character. And the same thing happened with Tarkin. Like, yeah, at one point these people will die, but the character will live on, and they want to continue with that. So they should make a decision, which way they want to go. And as you say, it's not easy, but they need to make a decision as to how are we going to continue this, because it will continue.
Man, it's a difficult road to follow. No matter what happens, we wish the people who work behind the scenes countless hours putting these together the best of luck moving forward. So, with that being said, I'm trying to think. What was the? Do I think Anakin was the chosen one or not? You know what? For me, I don't think he was. But then again, I've heard a lot of certain points of view from other people, so my mind may change on this. I don't know. I got to think on it. I'm pulling a cheat code in an ancient video game here, but I gotta play the Jeopardy theme for like a good 5 hours before I give you a educated answer. So I don't think he was the chosen one per se, but then again, I could be wrong. That's just
I kind of like what
right. You said a lot. You said a lot without saying anything.
I know, it's a lot without saying anything. Exactly. I need to think about this. I don't think he was the chosen one necessarily, but then again, I've heard people explain why he was, and maybe I'll come around to that. I don't know.
I kind of like what we were saying before, how like you didn't, the Dutch Star Wars guy right next to me was saying, that like he might not like it, but like he like recognizes that is what Anakin is.
Yeah.
Like I think that's like a good point of view.
No pun intended, Snips. But even so, we're getting all cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs on this thing. Let's see. So your next question for grabs here on the show, which by the way, these questions are just getting deeper and deeper into the trench here. But hey, they're fun. They're meant to be fun, at least I think they are, but maybe not. Whoa, this is heavy. So your next question is the following, ladies and gentlemen. Have you ever had a bad feeling about something and have been right about it? And in this case, what happened during that time? Case?
Oh boy. A bad feeling about something and it happened. Oh, God. Oh. So, bit of a story. We go back 2 years to when there was no war in Ukraine yet. Because the thing is, I have a Ukrainian girlfriend, and we went to visit. Her parents and her friends for New Year's that year. And despite the fact that, at that time, war was kind of coming, but we didn't really know if it would really be coming. But I just had a bad feeling about like my trip, the trip to and from Ukraine. Turned out to be terrible. Like especially the trip back took me like it took me more than a day to get back home from Eastern Europe to Western Europe. which was a bitch. But yeah, like I need to wake up at the crack of dawn to get my flight. The flight would go at like 5:45 or something, very early in the morning. And we're driving to the airport, and it's completely foggy everywhere. You can see like, okay, I'm going to use the metric system because I don't know the imperial system. You can see like more than 20 meters in front of you. So you couldn't see anything really. And therefore, the flight had to be canceled because you can't take off with so much fog going on. And then I needed to first take a bus to a different city nearby where we could take off. And then by the time that I got to, because I had a transfer in Kiev, I missed my transfer and I needed to find another way, and I needed to go through Germany. And by the time that I got back home to Amsterdam, because I live in the east of the Netherlands, Amsterdam is in the west, and the last train was gone already. So I couldn't go back, and I needed to book a hotel for the evening. And the next morning I came back home. So it was terrible. And all throughout the entire experience, I had a bad feeling about traveling. I was right. And I hated being right.
Well, in the words of Ian Malcolm, boy, I hate being right all the time.
Exactly.
So turned into a bit of a situation like that. Glad that you and your loved one made it through safely, though, because that safety is most important in the world, and both of you being okay is the most important. So I will give you that. For sure. I'm glad that both you and her are safe and sound, so thank goodness for that. Snippity snip, snip, snips. Have you ever had a bad feeling about something, maybe in school or college, and been right about it? And if that's the case, what happened, Snips?
I don't really know. I feel like this does happen quite often. But like,
don't really know. Come on now.
Because I feel like this is not an often occurrence, but it does happen every once in a while. And I just like, sometimes you just don't really think like that. Like the only thing that could really come to my mind, but then I don't really remember the last time I was so like unsure about something, is like with a grade or something like that. But nothing really comes to mind.
And I thought any day that you walk into that college campus, you would have a bad feeling about something. You're strong in the force, young one. I mean, you're kicking tail and taking names as it is. You're a small business leader, so well done. Got to give her credit, ladies and gentlemen. She is a small business owner, and for her to be at this young age and running a successful small business that's booming like crazy, that's an amazing accomplishment within itself. So congrats. Jen, have you ever had a bad feeling about something and it actually been right? Maybe organizing that office Christmas party, and if so, what happened?
I actually have experiences like this with people more than situations, where I can't really go into too much detail just out of respect for persons, but there's been quite a few different individuals along my life journey where I would get this feeling. And there's one person I'm remembering in particular where I had this feeling about them. There was just something off for years, but nothing happened. But then 3 years later, there was a certain event with the person that he or she chose to do what he or she did. And I remember my mom looked at me and she was like, dang, you were right. And it was really a little scary to think, wow, for 3 years, I knew something was off. So I have that experience more with people than situations.
That's a good idea. Like that take on it. Good one.
Understandable. Dion, have you ever had a bad feeling about something and actually been right about it? And in this case, what happened, if you're allowed to share with the general public?
Yeah, sure. It was a few years back. I'll stick with my basketball theme here with my lineup. But it was a friend and I at work. We were playing ball. We went to just shoot around and just, we got off early. And these young kids come in, young, fresh legs. They ask if we want to play a pickup game, and we do. A few up and downs, they're destroying us. And around that time, I'm like, okay, there's that bad feeling starts to happen. And my friend who I was playing with, let's just call him Luke to be in theme here. He started feeling himself a little bit. He started, draining a few shots, a few layups. He was feeling good. But again, same age as I am. I get the ball. I was like, I think he's doing too much. He cuts behind another player. I throw the ball because he'll be open, and the ball just completely just keeps bouncing. I look back. He's on the ground holding his knee. He just completely blew out his knee. So had that, just exploded. Really, it was nasty. Thankfully, we're on the college campus. Our trainer was right there. It was great, but had that feeling where like, man, he's doing too much. I'm walking the ball up court. Like I know these are fresh legs that are killing us right now, and I was like, let's pace ourselves. Let's take it easy. I threw the ball. It kept bouncing. He was on the ground. That was my bad feeling, and he was on crutches for a while. I think it took him about at least a good 6 months or so to at least start back. So it was a bad one, but yeah, we shouldn't have played those guys. we should have knew we weren't ready there.
Shouldn't have played those young bucks, that young talent.
We should not have.
Hindsight is very 2020.
Yeah,
I know, right?
Yeah, dude, that's crazy. I mean, not that this is the same thing. This is two completely different situations, but kind of reminds me of my pro wrestling days when Triple H went to hit that guy from behind and he pops.
Oh, when he tore his quad.
Tore his quad that night, and it just happened.
Yeah.
Like he didn't plan on it. It just boom. It just knocked him out. And then as soon as Raw went off the air, he kept telling the trainers, "I can't put any weight on my leg. I can't put any weight on it."
Well, on the replay, you can see it sort of like snap and roll up his leg too, like his quad. Yeah. Sorry, Gina.
Yeah, not to give bad nightmares to Jenn and Christie later tonight, but like, geez, if you go back and watch that episode of Monday Night Raw, well, not the episode, but just a particular incident that occurred during that tag match, you can see what was going on there. I'm just
listen, I have a background in classical ballet. I have heard an Achilles snap, and that's something you don't.
Oh, that's something you don't forget, is it?
So like that descriptive, it just reminds me of. Oh, I know what that sounds like. Ah, gosh,
nasty looking.
It's not good. I'm sorry that your colleague there your friend was on crutches for 6 months. Gosh, 6 months, man, that's rough.
Yeah, blew it out.
that blew out the knee. So what about you? Let's see. Did we get to everybody? No, yeah. I think it's just me. So did I ever have a bad feeling about something? Okay, with that. I'm pulling blank. I'm drawing a blank here, like Christy. I just can't remember a time specifically where I had a bad feeling about something and it actually went down. I mean, I guess you could say let's just for argument's sake, one of my previous jobs, I thought to myself after a little bit, I thought, you know what? Something's not right here. Maybe this isn't right. Maybe this isn't gonna work. And then later on I found out that was in fact the case. It's like, this job isn't gonna work. I need to move on and do something else. I'm sorry, but it's not happening today, guys. It's not happening. It's time for me to move on to greener pastures, brother. But anyway, that's just because, like I said, I want to respect the parties and the people who are involved in that incident. I'm just, it was one of those things that happened. But hey, guess what? We have reached 80 questions have been answered out of this deck of cards. 80 questions have now been answered of the 125 that we have here in this lovely box off to the side of the studio. And I want to thank each and every single one of our panelists for being here on this very educational and deep, thought-provoking, make us cry, emotional type episode of the Nerdy Cantina presented by And I Quote Channel. And we want to thank Case once again for all the background graphics and the thumbnails that we have been using the last couple of weeks. Thank you, sir. Appreciate it. So with that, and he's also celebrating the big 3-0 this week. So congratulations. Happy birthday to the Grand Admiral Thrawn, also known as Case, a.k.a. the Dutch Star Wars guy. Case, I know I just did your marketing for you free of charge, but I'm just wondering if someone wants to get in touch with you and find out more about Star Wars and your love of the fandom and other fandoms as well. Junior? Yes, sir. I need you, Junior. If you want to talk about that as well, where can the good people of the interwebs follow you on social media, Case?
I should probably at one point also do something about Indiana Jones, considering how it led me to Star Wars. But I'll get to that at some point, I suppose.
Junior.
Maybe like a 35-year anniversary something next year for Last Crusade. Considering it's
and we're
my
going to be doing a
favorite
watch
indie
along
movie.
right here on this YouTube channel that you're more.
I'm going to join that one for sure. I'm going to make time.
You're going to make time for Last Crusade.
I need that. Yeah, but. Yeah, as it says right here, the Dutch Star Wars guy on YouTube. You can follow me at Dutch SW Guy on Twitter, because unfortunately Twitter doesn't like long handles. And also, I have a project coming up with a friend of mine called Nico Rogoli, because he likes to build Legos, and I also like to build Legos. I mean, you saw them, some of them. And yeah, I'm not entirely sure on the dates yet, but we are going to be building Legos in a long live stream for charity, so it's a good cause. I will be sharing all the links on my Twitter and my YouTube as well. Look out for that. Because I'm very excited for it. I'm looking forward to it. I'm going to be building the space shuttle Discovery, which I'm very much looking forward to because I think it's a beautiful set. And I think that's about all I can say. Yeah, keep watching this channel because I really like the graphics that I make.
Not that he's biased or anything, but no. In all sincerity, congratulations on that. And wow, you're going to be building Legos. That's going to be. Everything is awesome. You're going to be playing that song a lot. Yeah, we know. Point it out to everybody at home. Go ahead. Is that the Titanic? That's not what I think it is it?
That is the Titanic, yes. It's one of the biggest ones that exists.
You have the Titanic Lego set?
Yes, I do.
Oh,
I built that earlier this year for Nico's other charity stream. Because I was like, I like the set. I want it.
Wow, you are out of your mind. But in a good way, in a very healthy, respectable, and for charity way. So I'm going to give you props for that. Congratulations.
Gotta have a hobby, right?
You got to have a hobby. Yeah, everybody's got hobbies, right? Christy, I mean, yours just happens to be reading obsessively. So Christy, Snips, where can the good people of the interwebs follow you on social media to keep up to date with all the wonderful things you're doing?
You can find me on Instagram at snipsandco_ for all my artwork and all that fun stuff. And you can follow me at Admiral Reads and at Book Ascendancy for Star Wars book goodness and fun.
Splendid. Thank you so much, Snips. Appreciate it.
Thank you too.
Yeah, and thank you for being with us. We greatly appreciate it. You're doing some wonderful things over there. Small business leader, 2 thumbs up. Our good friend Jen, despite her behind-the-scenes and technical equipment issues today, Jen, you are a stellar person and you're a star. So where can the good people of the interwebs follow you on social media and that incredible podcast you got going on?
You can follow me on Instagram and Twitter. On Instagram, I have my podcast called Rocking Your Bald. It is at rocking_your_bald. At Jen Edamine Gadowski is my other personal handle on Instagram. You can find me on Twitter at Jen Gadowski, as well as on Clubhouse, also at Jen Gadowski.
Wonderful stuff. Thank you so much for being with us. You greatly appreciate it. Dion from Miami Vice. Tomorrow on Miami Vice. Crockett gets the boss of coffee.
Next time I'm going to wear a blazer. A white blazer.
I know, right? Hey, maybe I'll give you a call sometime.
Get the shade.
Exactly. Hey, Dion, maybe I'll give you a call sometime. Your number's still 911? Oh, righty then. By the way, that movie turns 30 next year. That movie turns 30 next year. Fun fact. And that's the movie that
I want to be on the watch along.
All right, Jen, we'll mark you down for Ace Ventura.
Wow.
By the way, despite the spoiler alert, Ace Ventura turns the big 3-0 next year. So does The Mask, too. So there you go. A lot of Jim Carrey-ness in 1994.
Yeah, he had a good, like,
dude,
1
he had
year
a
run
darn
or
good
2
run,
year,
man.
like 3 movies. Yeah. Good
He had
He had
an
a darn
insane
good run.
1994.
What was that?
He had an insane 1994. Dumb and Dumber,
Yeah.
The Mask, Ace Ventura.
A plethora of things.
Plethora. Jefe. But Dion, despite the fact that you're wearing a great-looking shirt that's got Miami Vice inspiration all over it, and you're very good at playing basketball, but if someone wants to know more about you and the All-Star fandom stuff that you're doing, which, by the way, congratulations on that, where can the good people follow you on social media?
Yeah, but first, Ryan, Christie, Jenn, thanks for having me again. I really appreciate it. This was fun. But you can find me on All-Star Fandom Show on Instagram and on TikTok. It's just a show that I created for fans of all fandoms to celebrate their fandoms. So we talk about everything under the sun, from, again, Star Wars, Batman, DC, Marvel, cosplay, whatever it might be. We talk about it on the show. And we have some fun little theme stuff, some Christmas theme stuff coming up for the rest of the month. So be on the lookout for that. But it's All-Star Fandom Show on TikTok and Instagram. And again, Ryan, Christie, and Jen, thanks for having me on again. I really, really appreciate it. It was fun.
Yeah, man. Good times had by all. I got to give credit where credit's due. This is a great group of people we got here, honestly. But for argument's sake, if you want to follow the insanity, that is me, known as Ryan on social media. Follow me on Twitter and Instagram at RyanRPM5. Make sure you're following us across all forms of social media at And I Quote channel. Lots of great things coming your way very soon. Once we hit 1,000 subscribers, we're going to throw a great big live stream that's going to include returning favorites, surprise guests, and special giveaways that you could win from our good friends, The Art of John Pinto, 11x17 prints, such as this. If you're a fan of Spider-Man, I mean, we were talking about Marvel earlier. We were talking about Star Wars. I mean, I know Jen wants to put this somewhere. I think Snips wants this somewhere in her collection, or maybe even Case. I don't know if he likes Darth Vader or not, but hey, for argument's sake, if you like Star Trek, you can end up winning this, and these are all 11x17 prints that we could be sending directly to you. So all you gotta do is tell your friends about us, because once we hit 1,000, it's all positivity, and the sky's the limit from here. If you want to support the show in any way, shape, or form, you can buy us a pizza. The link is located in the description. Link is in our bio. Feel free to do so. Any support you can show us would be greatly appreciated. And also, the holiday season is here. Treat yourself. We got mad numbers of swag. We got t-shirts, we got hoodies, we got stickers that you can put on your water bottles, or the back of your cell phones, or whatever the case may be. All that kind of good stuff. All that stuff is located in the description below, as well as in our bios on our social media handles. So check us out there. This has been a lot of fun. Like, comment, share, subscribe, ring that bell to be notified of when our videos go up or they go live. And remember, the Force will be with you always.
There's so many. Has anyone been to them all?
Not likely.
I want to be the first one to see them all.
Truly wonderful the mind of a child is.
Come on. When you find people who need your help, you help them. No matter what.
We have hope. Hope that things can get better. And they will.
Stand up together. Because that's when we're strongest. As one.
You won't be going alone. You'll have a friend with you.
No. I'll have a Jedi with me.
You might want to buckle up, baby.
Rise in the Force.
Take care of this little one.
It'll take care of you. We had each other. That's how we won.
Force is strong in my family.
Its energy surrounds us and binds us.
What is it they've sent us?
Hope.